But each floor, we can just take a breath and appreciate the fact that we're still alive at the very least. Let's maybe drop some stuff here, clear up our inventory. We don't need to identify scrolls. Tropa darts probably aren't going to do us much good at this stage. And let's go on. Interdimensional caravan definitely requires a magic mapping here. Let's find out where that is so that we can for sure make it. Geez, a bunch of mystery doorways, of course. Very fitting, but at least most of them are in the similar area. And in fact, are pretty near to a stairway here. So let's pop down. Not that stairway, but... Oops, went right over it. Oh, can we not access? Interesting. Am I missing something? Trying to count the number of downstairs. Yeah, we do only have a few. Interesting. That is unfortunate. I was really hoping, of course, that we'd be able to pop out down here, but it is not the case. So we'll have to go here. We have a conjurer and a conjurer. Okay, that we can at least take. As long as no reavers, please. Always crossing our fingers. We want none of that. Hello, reaver. We were just talking about you. Liked how you backed yourself into a dead end. Burn your ships when reaching the new world, so you have no choice but to fight. Yeah, I took my I took my lessons in my formative years when playing Frozen Throne. And Arthas taught me a thing or two about burning the ships so that people can't retreat, you know? Horrible thing to do, of course, for other people, but if I do to myself, ain't no thing. Jeez Louise, yeah, Tengu Reaver, absolute pain in the butt in terms of just the sheer amount of elemental damage they can put down on us. We don't have a lot of options out there next to us. So we'll try and make some noise, see if we draw the attention of too many baddies. Doesn't look too bad. And... nope, no thank you. Let's close that door off. Thank you kindly. Oh no, there is something that can open doors in there. Crap. I was so hopeful. Well, I guess we're fighting here. Let's back up though. Trying to get into a slightly better position. We could actually even lead these buddies on a merry jaunt. We have freezing vapors, so let's switch over to a ring of ice. Come and get me. I'm even going to use the interdimensional caravan here as a bit of an escape option. Stand on it, let everyone come at me through the bog of cold ice, and then just get the heck out of there. Okay. Jeez Louise. We'll buy a potion of resistance, I think. I guess maybe we shouldn't quite yet. Just keep that in mind, see what else the shops have to offer. Ooh, a pitted kite shield is almost definitely being picked up. In fact, that's not even a save for later choice. Let's just buy that right off the bat. Of course, it's negative telly. Always got to be something like that. So probably not going to be using the kite shield of the Big Bang. Even with willpower pip 3, which otherwise might be an incredible find on many a character. Not quite worth it, because it will most likely leave us dead in a ditch somewhere. Here I'm going to buy the Scroll of Blinking, Scroll of Summoning, Scroll of Fear. All sound great to me. Last but not least, a general store up above. The Robe of Folly, which I think got changed recently actually. It gives permanent brilliance now, but you are not allowed any willpower and int +8. That is hilarious. I'd love to use this sometime. Obviously not in this character. Trog, no point whatsoever, but that is a wacky mechanic to say the least. While I'm here, I'm going to buy a Potion of Attraction. Is fairly cheap and might actually be useful on a character like this, so I'll buy that. But otherwise, I guess that's that, hey? Not a whole lot to choose from here that we desire, but even just a couple things might make the difference. Buy that Potion of Resistance. I wish I had more of those at my disposal for sure. And let's just get out of there. Okie dokie. Was there one more portal thing down here? That looks like it's going to be a portal to Hell or the Abyss though. Or Pan, I guess. Okie dokie. We have to clean up all of the monsters that we just released to wander the level here. Let's not accidentally have any of them step into teleport traps, send us flying around. Got way too much of that in my previous Zom game. And onwards we go. Still no gold dragons. They gotta show up sometime, right? Also, wow, that poison really stacks up fast here. Let's immediately just cure out of that. We also are still wearing our Ring of Ice, because I'm a fool, but hey, it works out for us when we face off against enemies that it's appropriate to. And I just need to remember, if I see fire, do something. If you see something, say something. Let us continue on here. That is a Reaver, our favorite type of enemy. So let's just get them a wee bit closer and then start ice blasting a little bit earlier on in the fight. Hopefully can make this slightly less risky than that last one. I was being kind of stupid, of course, because Reavers do have the ability to launch fire. So that's important to keep in mind. And oh my gosh, it's here. Okay, I need to step back, close the door. Can't be wearing a Ring of Ice, that's unsafe in many ways here. But I need this buddy to drop armor. Now or nothing, game. Now or never, that is. Well, I think I'm going to wear my Ring of Protection from Fire to at least potentially save us from one source of damage from this bad boy in the Bolt of Fire. Bolt of Cold is going to hit like a freaking truck. What else do we have at our disposal? Poison Cloud at least shouldn't be an issue. We do have resistance to that. Let's maybe drink a Might preemptively here. Of course, it immediately opens up with a Bolt of Cold. You son of a gun. And we need to follow that with some willpower here. Make sure that we're not getting confused or paralyzed. And here goes. Let's even do something a little bit crazy here, shall we? I'm gonna rage. Okay. Dang it, I don't think that it dropped armor though. After all that for a drop of blood. Well, that is unfortunate to say the least. I was definitely hoping against hope there. But maybe we'll find another one? All things considered. Maybe, just maybe. Please. Oh, geez. Let's not get paralyzed in front of this crowd either. Close the door, let them all come to us. We'll Trog's hand again, of course, to prevent said paralysis. And come on, one more gold dragon, please. Please. Please, game. I require a gold dragon. Definitely ignore an intelligence ring. No need for us to pick up that. We'll keep it going here. Okay, we do have one more depths floor to hope that we get some fortunate luck. I also have some unexplored territory, I guess, on these previous floors now that I think about it again. So let's head to these stairs, shall we? Interesting. A Staff of Cold. Yes, is technically better in some ways than this Ring of Cold, so I will take that. We also have a couple of fancy quarterstaffs here, which is funny. Destruction has 3 pips of resistance to fire. You know, I think our trident is slightly more preferable there, especially right, because we have a shield as well. So unfortunately, not quite the godsend we were hoping for there. We do also have this upstairs to explore. Maybe another treasure trove? No, just a weird tiny room in the middle of nowhere. Huh. Wild stuff. Well, yes, it's down to depths 5 for potentially our last chance at a gold dragon here. Could still show up in Zot too, I guess, but I was hoping to have it before then, to say the least. Let's also bring these buddies up a few at a time. This does allow us to rage out without any risk here. Make sure we get rid of the slow before we head back down. Perfect. Come on, game. You can do it. Just one more gold dragon that drops their scales, please. Please. I need it. I need it. Definitely can leave that alone. Another blinking scroll is at least pretty fantastic. Of course, we do find ourselves up against a frost giant here. One issue point in their run, but we should be able to finish them off quickly enough. Perfect. Oh, and wow, yet again, we have our ziggurat guarded by a deva. This is the second time I've seen this exact entrance. That's funny. I guess just an angel, sorry. The devas are the gold-plated ones, now that I think about it. But onwards we go. Still hoping that we might find the solution to all of life's problems here. Let us Trog's hand so that the ball of eyes doesn't do anything untowards, and then we'll switch over to javelins and try and get some piercing damage on all these bad boys. In fact, if a Spriggan wants to join the Congo line, more than gladly accept that. Perfect. Scary stuff, but hey, an altar to Trog. Maybe, just maybe, that's fortuitous for us. Who hit us with ice there? Not you. Not you. Huh. Weird. Did somebody pop out of the way? No, I guess that was a bolt of dispelling energy, actually, now that I look at it for a moment. I'm just a fool. But holy cow, no condenser vein this game. No golden dragons when we need it most as well. That is definitely a shame. Holy crap, this miasma is doing absolutely horrible things to us. Let's see here. Let's take a look, shall we? Find themselves poisoned and also find their movement slowed. Oh, that's important to know. Can't believe I must have forgotten that at some point. But I do have many a blink scroll, so I think I will just use that right away here. Then we'll use the fact that we're the same speed as our enemies to just walk away. Just walk away. Oh, I guess the Spriggan is faster, so they will catch up. Hello, friend. As long as you're faster than your berserked allies. That's good. 55% chance to hit. Not great, but it will just delete you. Perfect. You know what? That's close enough that we can switch over to our Wand of Ice Blast. Just try and finish this off. Guaranteed to hit. Perfect. And continue our retreat. Back up to our stairs. Ooh, geez. Never a dull moment, to say the very least. Also, just release the contents of that room out into the wild, I guess. So, what I should potentially do here is a quick maneuver to block off some of these entrances, make sure that we're not surrounding ourselves by too many ridiculous enemies. Ooh, and our first Juggernaut. Fun stuff. I think I will enrage here. We're close enough to the stairway that I can retreat fairly easily at the very least, so no real harm there. Yet another ice dragon. Of course, it's all we seem to fight up against at this point. Let's immediately mark off these doors before I auto-explore again. And what a world we live in here. Absolutely brutal so far. Ignore any enchant weapon, brand weapon scrolls still. Let's, try and take on this group, I guess, now. Oh, geez, this is taking many more turns to kill a Draconian than I thought it otherwise might. Which is not a great precedent to be setting here. But if we can call some attention to ourselves, get all you buddies following us, especially if you poison your own friend. Very much happy with that result. And let's just try and finish off these two on their own. Perfect. Slowly but surely working our way through the enemies here. Gonna turn a corner so that the dragon isn't completely destroying us with bolts. Never mind, it's just not gonna follow us. Hello, friend? You okay? There we go. We'll fight here. Activate Trog's hand for the extra regen as well. Trying our best to just finish off these fights succinctly here. Make sure that we're not taking too many nasty hits. Especially when storm dragons are just bouncing their bolts off all the walls around us. Never a fun time. Switching to our large rocks, of course. For any ranged folks, Okay, we're somehow managing to survive here. Still not a great situation all in all. No gold dragons, hey? Wouldn't expect it. Jeez Louise. Yeah, one of these days. I'm hoping that Shining Eye was actually a shapeshifter and that they turned into that elephant instead, because I do not want to deal with too many more malmutations here. Perfect. Looks like it indeed was. And that should be most of the little vault here closed off. Not fantastic overall, because again, I really wanted to find better armor by this stage, but hey, the game doesn't want to give it to us. That is just the way of the world. So, what can we do to try and augment ourselves? Some more fighting, get some more health come in. Maybe turn off unarmed combat here. As well as a bit more dodging here. I'm also going to turn on armor. Just hope that the sheer overwhelming blend of defensive skills will be enough to pull us through. It's definitely a sketchy situation to say the least. We're down to 16% failure with Brother in Arms, so I think I will head to the Elven Halls. And I guess that might be another place to potentially, if not find a gold dragon scales, maybe find some artifact rings or something that can make the difference in our attempts to survive here. We'll have to be cautious not to get caught up in a poor situation. Trying to think of who all down here has cold damage, because that's what we're most scared of at this stage in our run. Lightning and fire, totally okay, no problems whatsoever. But if we start taking too much cold damage, ooh, let's not get paralyzed as well. That's pretty rough. But things will go downhill is all I guess I was going to say on that note. Let's run to a hallway though. Try and simplify our problems. Jeez Louise. Should at least, again, do some wonders for our piety levels as we take out all these spellcasters left and right. In fact, as soon as we're down to a reasonable level there, we might want to pivot. As much as I was just talking about finding crucial pieces of equipment down here, it's no way guaranteed, and I'd like to use the piety where possible. At least use it before we end up just hitting max levels. Dang it, another bookshop. Not quite what I'm looking for, game. Please and thank you. Again, condenser vein would be incredible. I can even make sure that I didn't miss any of those, but I don't believe I did. Back, no. So we have all the throwing rocks or large rocks in the world, but absolutely nothing in regards to elemental resistances, and we're missing out on a lot of the evocables that we might otherwise wish to have. Okie dokie, just keep going though. Just keep swimming, as it were. Oh, hello friends. It's like a mini final elf vault. What fun for the whole family. Can you paralyze? No. Can you paralyze? Also no, but you do throw icicle. There we go. That's the cold damage we have to be worried about. I knew it was somewhere. You don't get through a wizard-filled floor without having to deal with some source of every single type of element that can come your way. Guess what I maybe should be doing here is switching over to javelins and tossing them out this way just to try and get a whole bunch of collateral damage. Especially since I do want to kill this elf knight right away. Perfect. And maybe even switch back to our large rocks to finish this off, as they all kind of split up around us and there's less cohesion in their ranks. Jeez Louise. What a change in pace. I guess it makes sense. A lot of times you will have an easier time early on with a troll. The same goes for ogres and their max health pools. It's much easier at the start of the game, but you trade off for that by struggling a whole lot depending on your resources at this stage in the game. Okay, you just hit real hard, but hey, no ice damage, so you can absolutely suck it. No problem taking out Annihilator whatsoever, at least isolated. Don't get me wrong, a whole group of them is still gonna put me into sheer panic mode in an instant, but it's a half decent start at the very least. And we not quite at max beauty, so we can actually keep going for a little while here at the very least. Hope that we find some more great pickups. We are just deleting these elves with a single large rock throw, so that's nice in its own right. I also don't mind seeing more silent scrolls because it's one of the rare games where we're much less affected by silent scroll than we otherwise might be, so it can be a really great source of defensiveness against all these casters that we may or may not run against. And okay, we finally get another evocable in the Tin of Tremor Stones. That's good. Let's maybe drop a Ring of Protection. I will even drop the Ring of Willpower since we are just augmenting ourselves with Trog's Hand, that is. Amulet of Faith is interesting. Could be nice to just allow us to Brother in Arms that much more often. But I'll probably end up buying the Reflection Amulet instead from a few floors back. Should be able to make that do wonders for us, especially since that also helps us against casters in reflecting back some of the Lahudib's Crystal Spears and Iron Shots and other scary things like that. Let's just keep it going, trying our very best to stay alive. Oh wow, Mace of Trog's I was going to say Furry, but that's not right. Trog's Fury. Does give us a pip of resistance to fire, but we already have our Trident for that if we really get desperate. So not fantastic, to say the least. I guess we just keep it going here. And we are at max piety now too, which I did notice when we hit. So I don't know if I want to keep going in Elf 3. Or potentially try and make some headway somewhere else. We can call in a bunch of friends, though for all I know we might want to do so in Elf 3 if things get a little bit sketchy that a ways. But we still have lots of blinking scrolls, so many teleport scrolls. Let's do a little bit of a search through our options here, shall we? Could head to vaults, I guess. Another option to just give us the chance to potentially get a few more options at our disposal. I'm trying to think of how often dragons show up in vaults. Definitely in vaults 5. I think that it shares most of the monster list with depths, right? I think I will. This game is going quickly enough relative to other ones in terms of how the speed in which we got to this stage in the game. So I'm hoping that well, or not hoping, but I should say that gives us slightly more time tonight to explore a few more of the branches than we have been lately, since we've been rushing through for the most part. And maybe try and eke out, the rest of the resistances we need. Scroll of Acquirement. Don't screw me on this. Not quite. Not quite what I was looking for. Manual of Throwing is kind of interesting, though. It would help us just ramp that score up to ridiculous extremes. Which, again, we do have a lot of large rocks, so that's probably a pretty solid get. And in fact, nothing else there is that impressive, to say the very least here, so I will do so. And what can we switch out? I'm going to drop Curari darts, and in fact, I'm going to take darts off of our auto pickup list. We're hitting the stage in the game where they're almost never useful. So we'll do that. Pick up this Manual of Throwing, and that will give me enough of an impetus to put throwing back on, at least for a little bit here. Try and at least increase the chances for us to hit enemies. I don't love being marked. How many cancellation potions do I have? 2. Dang it, that happened in 1 turn. I guess that's the one disadvantage of relying on Trog's Hand to be our source of willpower, is it does take a turn for us to do so. But again, I can use this as an excuse, time to take a drink while I think about our next course of action. Maybe I'll just start walking back towards the stairs. I don't mind actually attracting all the enemies to the stairway here. It does make it a wee bit dangerous in some regards, for sure. But on the other hand of that token, does also allow us to stair dance potential enemies, which is nice to say the very least, especially against a whole lot of undead creations like this. Oh, I guess Vault Wardens will prevent that from happening, so let's immediately switch over to slamming this bad boy with some large rocks. Perfect. Oh, what the heck are you? Ironbound Thunderhulk. That's new. Call down lightning. Brutish figure hastily armored in scraps of leather and metal to combat a fearsome intruder. On its back is an antique arcane lightning rod. Oh, which only calls down thunder on distant foes. Interesting. Definitely a cool new mechanic. Let's try and take that bad boy out right away. Let's see, what do you kids do? Word of recall, white other, both potentially scary. We also saw a couple of Ironbound Frost Hearts a while back, and that's bad for us. Any cold damage immediately puts me into panic mode, of course. But we do have a large number of stones, so I'm going to use our large stones to eke out some early advantages on some of these baddies. Definitely want to take out that brain right away, if just to get rid of the chance that it starts bringing in summons. What else? We could retreat at any point here. Try and take some of the heat off of us. Backed. I'm going to do so now. Just get back up to full, head back down in a fresh state here. Perfect. Get rid of the rest of the undead. Try and take advantage of the fact that the undead won't follow us upstairs, and you know, that might have cleared a large section of the floor. Perfect. If we can just deal with fewer enemies at any one time, we will be in a decent place here. Oh, what the heck are you? Ironbound Beastmaster. Goad beasts. Provokes nearby beasts to act faster. Interesting. So definitely want to take you out before you get the opportunity to cause too much trouble for us. Ouch, we're not in a great position here, but fortunately, a friend by our side, there's nothing we can't do. Please, friend. Oh, no, never mind. You can desummon. That's cool too, I guess. Here's one of these ice buddies here, so that's not great. We can try and take them out quickly enough so as to not let that lack of resistance be too much of a problem at the very least. And pressure does not let up for sure. Still nothing quite yet that completely saves us from our misery here. Though each chamber that we clear does give us an opportunity maybe to be in a safer place in the future. Jeez, bunch of mighted buddies. Let's actually walk back here, slow you down a bit. Definitely want to take out Bogart before they start summoning in too much. And let's head back out to a corridor. A true corridor here. Hello, friends. Please come at me one at a time. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. And once again, let's head back out. Perfect. As long as we can consistently do that, we can slowly but surely take out the majority of our enemies here. At least that's the plan. We'll continue on. Finally getting a File of Floods. That is, yet again, another one of the evocables that I've been much remiss to not have at our disposal. So maybe, just maybe, Condenser Vein can be next. Can do a quick clear of our inventory too, of course, just to make things a little bit easier at a glance here. Find our solutions to any potential problems. And with anything and everyone we find, just throw rocks at them until the problem goes away. Not too bad. Guess even the slimes we may want to... No, it turns out that they were split up enough that we didn't have to worry about them joining together. And hello, Jory. Have you had any changes recently? Vampiric Draining, Mesmerized, Lahudip's Crystal Spear for an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. Love to see it. Let's pop around a corner. Close the door even. Sure, do you want... I'll bring in a friend. Not great in terms of friend selection. Would have liked to be slightly better off, but we are managing to take out Jory quickly enough, make sure that he doesn't start to replenish their own health with that Vampiric Draining ability. And so it continues. trying our best at the very least here. Survive just long enough to gain some more defenses for our future. Don't do that. Ooh, Bolt Sentinel. I should Trog's Hand. I don't want to spend too much piety too quickly because we did just get all that. But I guess whatever keeps us alive is probably more important than our piety, which is infinitely replaceable at the end of the day, especially if we feel comfortable enough to troll through the abyss. Makes things very simple in that regard. Of course, getting tormented sucks to a large degree. Let's see here. Skull is the main issue here. Yo, you're not that evasive, but you have crazy AC. Interesting. Oh, you're weak to silver, are you? No, you're not. That is too bad. But it does mean that we get to whip out our javelins here and see if we can't deal enough damage to the summoner. Perfect. Take them out. That is what we save our javelins for at the very least. For those exact conflicts. Don't mark me. Don't you do it. Perfect. Okay, able to take out that boy. It's also been a while since this mutation hit us. So definitely a good place to get that random rage chance. Because there are many occasions where it won't be quite so forgiving, to say the least. And geez Louise. Hello, Asterion. You are weak to silver, at the very least. 127, hey? Yes, as long as you don't summon too many critters, I don't mind fighting you too badly. How many silver javelins do you have? 14? Let's do it. Still a 95% chance to hit. That is awesome. Even with Asterion drinking a health potion there, able to take them out without too much trouble. Oh, and hello, Saint Roca as well. What a party of strong uniques we have to deal with today. Fun stuff. Oh, geez, and that's a horrible rage. I'm gonna use our initial burst of speed to gain some distance here. I'm hoping that some of those monsters will forget about us, not follow us all the way down here. And in fact, if it's just a couple of orcs, I'm happy to take you on a long, merry journey. Perfect. That helps out at the very least. And come get me, Saint Roca. Perfect. Trying to take them out quickly enough here. Not have to deal with too many smites. There we go. Not a problem in the world. Ooh, me oh my. Fun stuff, as always. What can I say? We somehow persevere and we continue onwards. Dang it, we got marked even with Frog's Hand in effect. That was, I think, a fairly low percentage chance to work. So that is some bad luck, even though I guess on the other hand of it there, didn't really have to deal with many enemies. Not really anyone showed up, so that's nice. Let's see. Good fire damage. You have... Ooh. Paralyze is a natural ability. Fun stuff. Well, we definitely want a Trog's Hand here. Susceptible to cold, though, is interesting. Especially with only 133 health. I think I can deal with that. So I'm going to Trog's Hand. Try and get a little bit closer to this son of a gun. And then can switch over. Just send out a bunch of Ice Blasts here. Hopefully dealing more damage than this. I thought you were susceptible to this, you son of a gun. At least we're killing those Zephyrmancers, no problem, to say the very least. Another one down. Take a step back here so that we're not in the firing range of the High Priest specifically. I don't want to get smited too much here. And... come on, one more. Good roll, please. Perfect. That is what we require. Oh gosh. Don't step on the distortion trap. Oh, also, hello, Azul. Yet another unique. Holy cow. Yeah, at least they're fully resistant to poison. I'm also used to finding Azul a little bit earlier in the game, so I'm hoping that's at least a bit indicative of how we can fare in this fight. Bad start, of course. What kind of choices do we have at our disposal here? Are you resistant to poison? You are indeed, but some of those I'm guessing go through that resistance, so I'm going to use a mirror on you. Oh, I maybe should have mirrored my own Iron Troll now that I think about it. Just gone a good amount of tankiness and damage on our side, but I think we're in a position now to definitely take on this crowd, at the very least. And okay, my mutation berserked me for me. I was actually debating if it was worth using our Trog given abilities to berserk there, but apparently the game is going to do it for us. Oh geez, and I should not be charging in while slowed. I was hoping to just take advantage of the fantastic summons that we got here, but that is probably a little riskier than I should be dealing with here. Let's see. You're not crazy strong. Am I able to throw a large rock at you? I am. Let's do so and at least see how my allies fare in the initial bits of this fight. Seems like they're doing a half-decent job to say the very least. In fact, if I switch over to our javelins here, I should be able to take out a bunch of these bad boys in one fell swoop. Perfect. And then together, even with my slowness after Berserk, still managed to take out that whole crowd there. Let's see, did your fire scales do anything special? No, just the enchantment on that, hey? Maximally enchanted to +8 as well. So we could get a decent chunk of just pure AC off something like that. Fortunately, resistance to cold is our main issue right now. So it's not exactly what we're looking for. Fire resistance, that is. Also hear some trumpeting, so I'm guessing we got some elephants. Indeed we do. Hello, friends. Not too bad. Okay. Still not finding quite the things that we might want. Against any of those wizards, I'm actually not going to Trog's Hand because I wouldn't mind getting banished, especially if they could banish us directly to Abyss 3. That might be kind of nice for getting our rune in relatively short order. Let's also switch back to our large rocks here. So we're using those to take out these bad boys right away. I don't like you all getting mited though. That means these dire elephants are going to hit real hard, to say the very least. Still, I guess not too much of a problem. No, exactly, Save It. I would truly love to go full Santa Claus, but in fact, I probably will. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I put myself at risk for a little bit of flavor. But I want to give Bolts just a little bit more opportunity to surprise me here. Gold Dragon? Maybe? Maybe, just maybe? Oh, geez. Okay, shafted onto Bolts 4. That's not the end of the world. It's still scary. Don't get me wrong. Let us immediately Trog's Hand and read a teleport. Then we can maybe start slashing. That's not a great teleport. Let's try that again. Start slashing, try and deal some damage before we're yanked out of here. And you know what? That might do it, at the very least. Even just putting us down into a bit better of a corridor where we can take these fights one at a time is huge. Perfect. Oh, no, let's go this way. As long as our enemies aren't smart enough to start crowding around the pillars, we're in a beautiful spot here. Oh geez, the rage isn't great though. That mutation might just be the death of us yet. Or not. Apparently, we managed to clear out the welcoming party at the very least here. And so, let's bring all you bad boys back here. Oh, hello, Sojibo. Apparently this is where all of the uniques in the dungeon were hiding. How scary are you? A lot of air-based stuff, hey? Definitely a little bit freaky to say the least, but should be able to take this. Oh, no, dang it, we're also marked. I was potentially, again, leaving myself open to a banishment. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but that's got to change now because we're about to drag everyone over to here. And let's back up. Do we have our Phantom Mirror back online? We do indeed. So I'll bring our own Sojibo into play. And I think a File of Floods is next on the list here just to prevent you from doing too much nastiness. Let's go for it. Take out the wizard first, and then Me versus the Queen of the Tengu? Ain't no thing. Perfect. Fun stuff. What a wild and wacky adventure we're on today. I guess, right, I am marked, so everything is starting to come towards us. Let's run back into a bit better of a defensive position. I'm also going to read Scroll of Teleport. Perfect. Much better placement this time. And our mark ran out just in time for that as well, which you'd love to see. Do you know what? I think I will, in fact, actually go back upstairs and let's clear the rest of this floor before continuing onwards. Okay, banish me? Maybe, just maybe. In fact, I'll wait a couple turns. Wait a couple turns? What are the odds again? 29%? Dang it, they just killed themselves. Okay. You'd think that at Wizarding School they teach you not to fireball at point blank range, but apparently that's a much higher level lesson that they have to learn at some point. And here I was trying to let them do something a little bit fun. It's not often that I intentionally banish myself. But oh well, guess it was not meant to be. So we just keep going and oh my gosh, finally. Okay, Scarf of Resistance, worth any amount of cash. I will throw any and all money at the problem here. Getting rid of our ability to see invisible, sure, but finally we have at least half decent resistances here. Jeez Louise. Of course, another mark. This time not our fault in terms of willpower toggling. But alas, here we are. And at least most of this floor is cleared, or it's at least, on the other hand, very spread out, so it's not quite as dangerous in that regard. And let's finish clearing. Finally, with a little bit of cold resistance under our belt, not quite as scared. Oh, what the heck is a Peacemaker? Four-legged humanoid construct, tasked with recapturing escaped slaves and punishing heretics. Long after the fall of the Empire it once served, it continues to enforce imperial law, knowing no jurisdiction. They are above the law.